following this feature event. Frank Long gets the early lead off into turns number 1 and 2, and one car out of shape. Bob White and the Bell Motor Company number 2 entry, spinning it over in the second turn, and that'll bring out the caution for a complete restart. That a lot of people go into, but this four-cylinder class is probably just as exciting and probably just as economical. And of course, as you can see, there's plenty of room out there for more four-cylinder drivers. So a fun class to be involved in out there, and definitely a need for more of them. As they take the green flag one more time, Frank Long now in the second season of four-cylinder competition puts it right back out in the number 1 spot. Point leader Charles Graham right behind him. Joe Morosky and Calvin Wright side by side for third. Morosky takes over the spot right back into fourth, and Andy Ball fifth with Bob White rounding out the order. Lap number 1 coming to a close here at a turn number 4, and Frank Long will lead it. Long still your leader with Charles Graham chipping away in second. Morosky now in third. Andy Ball moves into fourth, and Calvin Wright back to fifth as we work down the back straightaway. Morosky still looking to the inside for that second position. 2 laps in the book this time around for Frank Long. Little out of shape off turn 4, and Graham may have got the spot he wanted and the chance he wanted as he works off into turns number 1 and 2. Going for the lead and gets it down the back straightaway. Morosky trying to follow suit. Work off at a turn 3 and 4. Long with a bold move, trying to make something happen down low. Tags it, good pile down to the inside of turn 4. Back up to the gearbox he goes, and Long will loop it back around. Looks like he'll be able to rejoin the field. Graham had taken the lead, and Joe Morosky was trying to follow suit. Frank Long was out on the outside and then trying to shoot it back down low, and Morosky was right there as well, and he loops it around and makes slight contact with the dirt pile down on the inside. Getting up through the gearbox, and Charles Graham tries to pull out to a good advantage. Andy Ball in second, Bob White, Joe Morosky, and Frank Long, your top 5, as Wright continues to limp down the back straightaway. A tough break for the Wright excavating entry, and it looks like he may have to head it to the pit area. Graham back to the stripe with Andy Ball in hot pursuit. Morosky and Bob White side by side for third, and whatever advantage Graham had on the restart, Andy Ball has closed right back up and done away with. Calvin Wright limping around the speedway, just trying to rack up some all-precious points, and maybe a couple others would fall out, and he can take advantage of it as the field works itself back. Trouble in turn number 3 and 4. Bob White looping it around. Frank Long couldn't avoid him and made contact, and a good shot between the Frank Long and Bob White machines in turn 3 and 4. Well, if things work out the way it looks they might, we could be down to a 3-car field. Calvin Wright having trouble on the restart, and he's been limping around just trying to keep the points up in the Wright excavating number 11. Now it looks like he'll take the left-hand turn into the pit area. Bob White was down low in the Bell Motor Company number 2 entry. He looks to be spinning around when Frank Long, trying to avoid, made contact with the tail end of the car. They both sit down there in turn number 4. Charles Graham, the point leader, still your pace setter with Andy Ball and Joe Morosky, your top 3. caution lights are out. Charles Graham will try to take us back to the green. Got a good jump on the restart, but a lap or so later, Andy Ball closed that gap right back up. Joe Morosky in third and Bob White running in fourth position. Some trouble trying to get to the gearbox, and Andy Ball almost pulled it off. Now he makes that dive down low and goes for the lead down the back straightaway. Ball and Graham side by side as they work off into the 3-4 turn. Oh, they get a little trouble. Ball gets a little bit of that fender on the Graham car, and halfway hits this time. The halfway came out. So does the caution for Charles Graham. Some tight racing between he and Andy Ball going into turn number 3. Once again, you see what 4 cars provide out there as far as excitement is concerned. Just think what 24 could do out there each and every Friday night. Once again, a very economical and fun racing division to be involved in. So once again, if you want some information about the 4-cylinder division, how to get into it, and what it costs, the rules information is located down at our main novelty stand, as well as the rules for all the other divisions of racing here at the Speedway. You got to get your feet wet somehow, some way, and the 4-cylinder class, a good way to get started. The 117, the care drug entry. He takes advantage of some battle going on between the other 3 drivers and puts himself out to a pretty good lead out of turn number 3 and 4. Care drug car. Morosky back to the stripe here leader, looking for win number 2. Bob White holding off a good charge by Charles Graham and Andy Ball. He worked off into turns number 1 and 2. Good advantage for Morosky off the second turn. White still holding off that hard charge. Graham and Ball maintain a side-by-side battle for third. Ball now goes into third as they work themselves back to the stripe. Joe Morosky, still your leader. Almost a turn advantage for Joe Morosky and a good run for Bob White going, but Andy Ball now trying him underneath as they go down the back two. They tighten it up down the back straightaway. Possible 3-wide battle. Now they let off a little bit. Ball goes in the second. Graham tries it again. Here they come. One more time. Joe Morosky can enjoy a comfortable lead and almost sit back when he comes out of the turn and see a fierce battle between Andy Ball, Charles Graham, and Bob White. 2 laps on the board, coming this time for Joe Morosky. Morosky down the the back straightaway, lap and a half away from a second checkered flag of the season. Andy Ball in second. Graham now running third. Bob White in fourth. One more time for Joe Morosky. Drug number 117, Morosky, looking to make it 2 victories for 1992 off turn 4. Joe Morosky takes your checkered flag. Andy Ball lines up in second. Charles Graham for third, and the number 2 machine of Bob White will round out the finishers on the field. He'll finish fourth on the night. Your meeting will be taking place momentarily here on the front straightaway, so please get yourselves over in the scoring area. A reminder, if you do have children that will be sitting with you, please have them sit down so all the scorers can show their cards and our scores up here in the tower can see. And also, once again, no alcoholic beverages allowed in the scoring area during the Enduro 100 feature event. We appreciate your cooperation. Once again, the scoring meeting coming up momentarily. Division, and it's been tough. Anybody that takes the checkered flag in this class earns it. Tonight, the Care Drug number 117 of Joe Morosky earned his second feature victory of the 1992 racing season. He'll be getting out of that car momentarily. Joe's putting his socks back on, I believe, as he'll work around and take his second checkered flag in 1992. There he is, ladies and gentlemen, your feature winner, Joe Morosky.
Congratulations, Joe. It was a hard-fought race out there for you guys. Yeah, it really was. I don't like it when it's like that. I try to be fair and drive the best I can. I know Frankie's upset with me, but okay, well, I know there's only 3 or 4 cars out there, and there's time bound for the lead, and you got 3 or 4 bound. So, I mean, it's close racing, and sometimes you do touch, and unfortunately, somebody has to go to the rear, and somebody gets upset.
Yeah, well, they sent me back to the rear once, and that's okay with me. I'll do whatever they say.
So I think it's time everybody took a turn at the rear, and everybody took a turn at the front, and you was at the front beside the caddy. Well, congratulations, and I'm sure we'll see you back here some more 40 years later.
Thanks a lot, Pete.